Have you ever just looked around and wondered why we seem so stuck? Stuck in the same cycles of conflict, outrage, and blame? Well, it turns out our responses to getting hurt or seeing injustice, they're not random at all. They actually follow these ancient, predictable patterns. So today, we're going to dive into what you might call two powerful spiritual technologies that are shaping everything from our personal arguments to our global politics.
So let's just get real for a second. Think about a time someone truly wronged you. I mean, they really crossed the line. What was that first gut-level lightning-fast instinct? Was it to make them pay? To push them out? To just eliminate the problem? Or was it something else entirely?
Because whatever your gut answer was, it reveals something fascinating. It tells you which of two ancient operating systems you're running at that moment. Think of it like spiritual software. One is our default setting, the one we all inherit, and the other is a powerful evolutionary upgrade.
Now, to really get a handle on these two technologies, we first have to understand the problem they're both trying to solve. And it's a big one. Some call it a sacred wound. Modern science has another name for it: inherited trauma.
So what is that? It's this wild idea that the traumatic experiences of our ancestors, I'm talking about everything from family crises to huge historical events like wars or famines, can actually be passed down. Not just through the stories they tell, but through our biology, through our behavior. It can subtly shape our stress responses and our entire view of the world before we're even consciously aware of it.
And this brings us to our central case study, which is just fascinating. We're so used to thinking of Jesus and Judas as polar opposites, right? Good versus evil. But it's way more powerful to see them as mirror disciples. Think about it. They both grew up in Roman-occupied Judea. They both carried the exact same historical trauma of their people. They both faced the same brutal injustice and desperately wanted things to change. The difference wasn't their starting point, it was the technology they chose to deploy.
And here are those two operating systems side by side. You've got the Judas technology, which runs on a simple logic: elimination. The way to fix things is to find the source of the problem and get rid of it. Then you have the Jesus technology, which runs on a logic of transformation. The way to fix things is to actually absorb the pain and, in doing so, break the cycle.
So, let's start with the first one: elimination. You could call this humanity's factory setting. It's our oldest, most default operating system for dealing with a crisis. It's definitely the path of least resistance.
And you can see why this is so tempting, right? The logic of elimination feels so decisive. It feels righteous. It gives us a really clear target for all our pain and anger. It takes a messy, complicated world and simplifies it down to us versus them, good versus evil. And it makes a powerful promise. If we can just get rid of that person or that group, everything will be okay. Order will be restored.
So, what's the engine that powers this whole thing? Well, the philosopher René Girard had a name for it: the scapegoat mechanism. It works like this. Tension builds up in a society like a pressure cooker. When that tension hits a breaking point, the society can magically pull itself back together by uniting against a single victim, a scapegoat. They blame that person for everything, and getting rid of them brings this powerful but always temporary sense of peace.
And don't for a second think this is just some ancient tribal stuff. This logic is baked right into our modern world. Just look at our punitive justice systems. The main questions they ask are all about breaking rules and handing out punishment. The goal is retribution, balancing the scales by hurting the offender back. It's all about eliminating them from the community, one way or another.
And this view totally reframes how we see Judas. Maybe he wasn't evil. Maybe he was a passionate revolutionary who truly believed in the cause, but he was trapped using an outdated, destructive logic. And when his plan to force revolution failed, he turned that same exact logic of elimination back on himself. The software destroyed its user.
Okay, but that's not the only option. There's an alternative. There's an evolutionary upgrade available for our spiritual software. Let's look at technology 2, integration. Now, it's really easy to hear integration and think it means being a passive doormat. But it's not that at all. It's actually this incredibly sophisticated, active strategy. It's about having the strength to absorb hate without becoming hateful yourself. When someone wrongs you, you make a conscious choice to stop the cycle of violence right there. You metabolize the pain so it doesn't get passed on to the next person like a hot potato. And if you think this sounds like some nice, fluffy ideal, just look at the data. It's absolutely stunning. A major study that looked at over 100 years of political campaigns found that nonviolent resistance is more than twice as effective as violent revolution. Twice! It's not even close. Why? Because it allows for huge numbers of people to participate, disrupting the system in a way violent just can't.
So what's the institutional form of this technology? It's called restorative justice. And just notice how different the questions are. It's not asking what law was broken. It's asking who has been hurt. The goal isn't punishment. It's about repairing relationships, about healing the community. It's a system that's looking forward, trying to create a better future.
And the ultimate outcome here isn't just about bouncing back. It's about growth. Psychologists actually call it post-traumatic growth. They found that people who integrate their trauma often grow in these 5 key areas. Things like a deeper appreciation for life, stronger relationships, a new sense of personal strength. The wound itself becomes a source of wisdom.
Okay, so this isn't just some ancient story. This isn't just a big political theory. This choice between elimination and integration, it shows up for us every single day in moments both big and small.
You know that flash of white-hot rage when someone cuts you off in traffic? Do you lean on the horn and just transmit that anger? Or do you take a breath and just let it go?
Or how about in a tense argument with someone you love? Is your goal to win the fight by eliminating their point of view, or is it to try and understand and actually restore the connection between you?
And just look at our public life. Is politics just about defeating the other side, treating them like an enemy to be eliminated from power? Or could it be about finding a way to solve our shared problems, together?
Look, choosing integration is not easy. Elimination is our default programming. It takes real, conscious work. It means developing actual psychological skills, being able to pause before you react, having the humility to see your own dark side, the maturity to resist simple black and white thinking, and the courage to practice forgiveness, not for them, but to set yourself free.
And at the end of the day, that's really what this is all about. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's about the direction you're pointed. Both of these technologies can come from a place of love, a love of justice. But one is an immature love that tries to fix the world by getting rid of things. The other is a mature, conscious love that tries to heal the world by bringing things together. So we end on this thought. We all have both sets of software installed. We all have the capacity for elimination and the capacity for integration. The real question isn't, am I a Jesus or a Judas? The question is, in this moment, and the next, and the one after that, which program are you going to choose to run?